guys, and welcome back. I hope you're all doing super well. So today I am dressed like this with my hair like this because I'm about to do my makeup. So doing my makeup used to be very much part of my normal morning routine, particularly when my acne looked like this. I'll put up a photo now. So I had a lot of scarring, like indentations, I had a lot of discoloration and some active acne. So I was, really fed up with my skin at this point. I was feeling particularly down, but sometimes you just need something to give you a bit of a confidence boost, and in my case it was definitely makeup. I just want to start this video by saying I think you are all beautiful. I don't think anybody needs to wear makeup. I just think sometimes for people like myself, just a little bit of a confidence boost really helps you be able to get on with your day without seeing yourself, seeing your reflection and reminding yourself that you're trying to clear your skin all the time. So really, that's why I'm making this video today. I'm doing my full makeup routine as it was back then. I actually haven't done this for years. Like day to day now, I really don't wear any makeup. Going to work, I literally do not wear a scrap of makeup. So I've really done a 180, and that's basically because I'm so happy with my skin. I can't even tell you, like I feel relieved every time I look in the mirror, and I'm just so grateful I was able to clear it. I have got other videos talking about how I cleared my skin, so I will link those on screen now if that's also something you're interested in. But yeah, today's video is going to be my full makeup routine using all the products I used to. This honestly made me feel so good when I wore this makeup. Yeah, it really gave me that confidence I needed to just get on with my life. I'm also just going to put up a picture now of what I looked like at the time with this makeup so that you can see that you really cannot see any kind of acne discoloration whatsoever. I can't believe I'm actually doing a makeup routine because quite honestly, makeup is most definitely not my forte. But yeah, I thought this was worth sharing. I've got some good little tips in here as well. So yeah, stay tuned, let's get into it. Also, just a little disclaimer, if you want a super professional makeup tutorial, you're not in the right place. This is purely how to cover your skin with foundation in a particular way so that you can hide any acne and acne scars. This really isn't if you want to look like Kylie Jenner. So yeah, with that being said, as I said, let's get into it. So first up, I would usually moisturize, and I've already done that this morning because the minute I get out of the shower, I moisturize my skin, because you definitely want to moisturize damp skin rather than skin that's already dry. Otherwise, the components of your moisturizer really aren't able to do what they need to do. Essentially, what moisturizer is built to do is really draw all the moisture into the skin. It's to lock it in and keep it there. But if you've got no moisture to begin with, then you're really not doing very much. So moisturizer is already on. I use the Avene Hydrance Optimal in Rich, and yeah, I wouldn't have used this back in the day when my skin was really bad because it was probably too heavy for me. At the time, I think I was using, it's a very good question. I don't know if I was always using moisturizer, I'll be honest with you, which is absolutely terrible, but I think I had this like a gel, in fact I know I had like a Neutrogena gel moisturizer. It wasn't a moisturizer, basically just full of salicylic acid. So I would apply that first and let that sit for probably about 10-15 minutes. Because it was a gel, it didn't dry that quickly. It kind of just left a bit of a layer on your skin. But anyway, it did what I wanted it to do, which was basically sit on my skin and protect it from the makeup. So that was step one. Step two was actually the first layer. And I want to add that there is a lot of makeup that's about to go on my skin, but please trust me that this never looked cakey. I did my very best to make it look like I was just wearing foundation, like a little bit of foundation, not the extent they were about to go through. So yeah, let's begin. First step was a cream foundation, and I've got two that I want to show you. So on days I felt like my skin was particularly red and angry, I would use the Vichy Dermablend foundation, and this was in the colour Nude. So I would use this along with a sponge to basically put a whole layer across my face, in particular the areas that were really kind of red and breaking out. Or on days where I felt a little bit better about my skin, or potentially I wasn't breaking out so much, I would use this Max Factor foundation, which is the Lasting Performance in Soft Beige. This smells disgusting, but it really did the job. Also, here's a little update about how my skin is doing. Just so you can see, I do have some sort of marks left from previous breakouts that I'm gonna just use as an example so that you can see, you know, if I am breaking out. This is actually a mole, sorry. But yeah, you can see just here that I have an acne scar there, and I've got a couple more around here as well. And on this side too, I've got a few more. So yeah, so we're gonna use those as like markers to show you that this does cover scars. Okay, today I'm not going to go with the Vichy Dermablend. I'll just show you quickly what it looks like on my hand, but it's super thick. Like I'm talking majorly, like the coverage is more than you could ever imagine with this stuff, so I would really, really recommend it. It really is like a cream, and it really does cover everything. In fact, it's meant to actually cover tattoos, so let me just show you on my tattoo on my finger how much it covers. Okay, so here's the tattoo on my finger, and then as you can see, it really does a really good job of hiding. You can still see it faintly underneath, but you can build it up so that it really does cover everything. Really glad I've got my micellar water with me because I'm most certainly gonna need this today. Okay, so to apply my cream foundation, I would always use a sponge, like a beauty blender. I had a few other sponges that I tried this with that also really worked, but I had a little trick that I learned on Wayne Goss's YouTube channel. If you actually want a really good makeup tutorial, probably head over there. But this little trick works so well for my indented acne scars. Don't get me wrong, it didn't cover them completely or completely get rid of the texture, but it certainly did a good job of it. So the trick is this: you get a sponge and you rip it in half. So then what you have is this like textured sponge, which is really good at getting into all like the indentations. So then I would get about this much foundation to begin with, and then I would just stipple this across my whole face, everywhere that I wanted to have coverage. So step 2 is to conceal all the spots, all the acne marks that I thought really stood out underneath foundation. As you can see, this is where we're at. So I've got my first layer on. So yeah, now I'm gonna go in with a concealer, and there's 2 different ones that I wanna show you. So the first up is the Vichy Dermablend concealer that came with the foundation. I got these together. I think this is also in the same shade of, I wanna say fairly light as well. It doesn't have a shade, but it's definitely the one that goes with the nude Vichy Dermablend. So yeah, I would use this on specific spots, and I would just use my fingers to just sort of warm it up. This, guys, is so old that actually I'm not even sure I could put that on my skin. It's so dry. I haven't used this in a long time. So what I will use is my option 2, and this I still use today for under the eyes, and it's the Lasting Perfection Concealer by Collection. I think everybody in the UK probably owns this. I absolutely love it. So I put it around my eyes and then on specific spots on my face that I think really stand out. There's probably some people that actually can do makeup really well cringing at what I'm doing, putting on top of my eyelid, but I don't care. I think it makes a great eyeshadow base. So to spot the conceal, I would just dab it on the little areas. In fact, there wasn't little areas, there was lots of areas, but I'm gonna do it on a few areas today where I feel like it really is picking up. And this was always mostly on my cheeks, that's where I tend to break out the most. And then I'll just use my finger really just to pat these in and blend them out. This part alone would literally normally take me about 10-15 minutes, I'm not even joking. Okay, so next up is layer 3, I guess. And at this point, your skin just looks fairly kind of dewy. You've still got kind of that cream foundation on and your concealer. So yeah, I think if I was gonna wear makeup now, this is probably where I would stop. So next step is a mineral-based powder foundation. And this is definitely the bit where I really built up a lot of coverage, particularly on my cheeks where I was really, really self-conscious. My favorite was the BareMinerals Original. As you can see, this is even the old packaging because it is so old. I probably have had this, yeah, like over 2 years, and I haven't probably touched it in over 2 years, so probably not meant to use this. I think we're actually meant to expire it after 12 months. So lucky for me, I've also been sent a new one. BareMinerals really kindly reached out to me and just asked if I would like some of their products sent. Not for this video, literally on Instagram, so I'm just using this purely for the basis that it's here and it's available. It is the new packaging, and it is the Blemish Rescue by BareMinerals. It's in my normal shade of fairly light, so yeah, I'm gonna give this one a go because I'm not sure I really fancy putting this on my face if it's like really, really expired, but I thought it's worth showing as this was the one that I used to use. So for this step, you just twist it open after you've kind of cracked the seal on here, which is actually not the easiest thing to do in the world. Leave me a comment if you also have BareMinerals foundation and struggle to open this little cap every single time. Whenever I get a new one, I'm literally there for about 10 minutes trying to open it. Okay, so yeah, you wanna pour this into the lid. Really trying to not get this all over my white bed sheets and my white dressing gown. And then I use this brush, which is what I've always used for it. I think it's like a Real Techniques brush. It's so old. Honestly, I've had this probably for about 5 years. maybe even longer. So yeah, with this, I just dip it into the foundation, like so, and then I apply it to the areas that I feel particularly self-conscious about. Like I said before, mostly my cheeks where my acne really kind of gathered, yeah, and on my chin as well. So I'll just show you what that looks like. This is actually making me feel really like, I don't know if the word's sentimental, but I haven't done this for so long that it just feels like it's bringing back all memories of really trying to cover my skin. Yeah, not something I've had to do for a while, and I'm so grateful for that. So you just work it into the skin using like this buffing brush, and it's got such a nice texture, honestly. So I would really just apply this to the areas, like I said, along my cheeks and my jaw. I think the best thing about this really for acne scars is that you really want to avoid things that are gonna basically project lights. Anything with like highlighters or like mini kind of like pearls and things like that you want to avoid completely, because the matter you can get the area, the less likely your scars are to stand out. So here we are, guys. It almost looks like a blurred effect. It's amazing, honestly. This foundation over the top of a cream foundation just honestly made me so happy with my skin. Even looking at it now, like I'm just really pleased that this still actually works. So as you can see, all the kind of area that I was really kind of conscious about is just really, really covered, and yeah, you really can't see any redness at all, really. So then I would set the foundation, the base, with a powder. I usually use this Bourjois powder, which actually is so old again, but for the sake of this video, I'm gonna give it a go. And I think the shade here was just vanilla, just like a normal, oh, I feel like this is a rule that you don't do on YouTube. I'm meant to blind everyone. Not a professional, like I said, but yeah, so you would just use like a really kind of natural, your shade kind of powder. I just usually set it with a massive powder brush. This one again is just like a Real Techniques, and then so base is done, and I've got a couple of other little tricks which I used to like to do purely just so that I could take attention away from my skin. So the first thing I would do would be to apply some bronzer. I found that this just made my complexion look a little healthier, particularly when you've covered your skin with a ton of foundation. You seem to be kind of all one color, so it's really important to kind of add shade back into your face. So I used to use this classic, the Hoola bronzer by Benefit. I sometimes still use this purely because I feel like it lasts forever, and I don't really wear much makeup. But yeah, this isn't necessarily my favorite. I feel like you can get a lot better, but at the same time, I know what I'm gonna get with it. So I just put a tiny bit on the same brush, and then I just apply it to the areas where the sun would naturally catch its light. So for me, that's just literally like the tops of my cheeks, it's down the bridge of my nose, and on my temples, and then down my neck a little so it can all blend together. And then I would go in with a little bit of blush just to add some more colour, and I just honestly would pick up any that was available in Boots. I think this is just like a Natural Collection one. My favourite thing about this one was that it actually fit this perfectly. And then again, you're just adding like a little bit of colour back into your face. So just across the tops of the cheeks. And then to add some colour to my eyes, just so again, I don't look so washed out, I would usually just use like, and I still do this actually, I just use like a tiny bit of powder across my eyelids just to kind of absorb some of the shine. Like, I don't know about you, but particularly for me, when I had oily skin, my eyelids would also get really oily. So yeah, I would just apply a little bit of powder just so that I could have a more even base to apply a little bit of eyeshadow. And then, so that it all kind of blended together, I would use the same bronzer that I applied on my cheeks, just to the crease, just to basically match it all together. And I still do this to this day. No need for any fancy eyeshadow palettes, right? This is what happens when you use tretinoin. You get dry areas everywhere. Which is the main reason why I don't actually wear foundation most of the time, because this is what it does. So then I'm just going to move on to do a little bit of shading in of my eyebrows. I'm just going to brush through them because I like that more kind of natural full look. I've always used this little brow kit by Benefit. Again, this is what I was using back in the day, and it's still what I use now. And then I just apply it with the little brush that comes with it. I'm just about to go out for coffee with my friends, and honestly, I don't think I've made this much effort to go out in the day since I had really bad acne, since before Accutane. So everyone's gonna think I've made such an effort for them. Really, I'm making an effort for you guys because I totally understand the struggle of wanting to feel confident and having that phase where your skin is hopefully healing. It If it isn't, then please go and watch some of my other videos I'll link on screen on how I clear my skin. I'm not saying that the same thing works for everybody, but honestly, I feel like sharing my journey hopefully will inspire others to know that there is hope and you can clear your skin. This whole channel is dedicated to that. I make videos every single week talking about how I managed to actually clear my skin, and that's not to say I'm never going to break out again. I absolutely will, and I still get occasional spots from time to time, but yeah, managing that and understanding our skin honestly will help you in the long term. Now I'm just going in with a tiny bit of mascara, just applying a little bit of Elizabeth Arden on my lips, and I might even apply a bit of lipstick, because that's another little trick that I used to like to do. I used to like applying something to my lips so that is what stood out when somebody looked at me rather than my skin. So this one's just a Revlon lipstick in Pink in the Afternoon. If you also know any other tricks and tips for doing your makeup when you have acne, then please leave them in the comments for us all to know, because I know that would really help somebody else, and myself included. So guys, this is it. This is the finished look. I guess, as you can see, it still looks super natural. It just looks really airbrushed. I think that's probably the best way I could describe it. And really it's all to do with layering, using the right ways to apply the foundation as well. And it really helps for the indented acne scars and the discoloration and the texture issues with actually having active acne. So I really hope this helps somebody out there. I know I used to really struggle to kind of get the right coverage, and also know that you're not really kind of like blocking your pores. You obviously want to find a cream foundation that actually works for your skin, that doesn't break you out, that you feel happy being in for the majority of the day. For me, the most important step of doing your makeup, and I think lots of people would agree, is actually getting the right base first. So the right skincare. And if you want to check out what I actually do before I actually put my full face of makeup on, then I'm going to leave a link down below. So just click on the video, click on the little box, and it shows you my morning skincare routine. So yeah, go check that out, and I'll see you over there. Hydrants Optimal Enrich, and the second is this Afluent Skincare Hydration Booster Serum. I literally love them both. And the moisturizer works so well on sensitive acne prone skin, and it also has SPF 20, so yeah, you do need SPF even if you live in the UK like me and it's winter. And the serum has vitamin C and